This is the territories disconnection sheet. To put in short, in world domination games you want to prioritize picking the most disconnected low-number territories which wouldn't block you in an important way. This is my 3 favorite starting territories, especially the South American one, as it could either make your opponent do the 3-troop split, or you won't have to do it yourself. Then I like the African one too, for splitting and hiding reasons as well. But let's not forget about the Australian one too if you want to have more territories in Australia. Then I would add these to the starting territories list too. I would like to have at least one starting territory in Australia. So if my opponent already selected Eastern Australia, and either Western Australia or New Guinea, then I will grab whichever one of these is left. But usually I will select Argentina as my first territory pick. And then we'll try to pick some good African territories. So if I'm the first player, then I can straightly grab these territories like this, and when I'm second, I could try forcing my opponent to make splits. Then after the starting territories, usually it could be good to go after these territories as well. These are very disconnected ones in good places too. Then the further territory picking could be more complicated. But I would recommend you taking a look at the territories which I call the mirroring territories. Here are the mirroring territory pairs. After your opponent selecting one in the pair, you could select the other one in the pair. Then it might be not too bad to select Indonesia too. Then these territories might not be too bad either, if you think they don't block you in an important way. Look to the already selected territories. Generally try to avoid picking bordered territories, if your opponent goes after picking these bordered territories, while you will be selecting my mentioned recommendations, then you will already be in a very big advantage. South America and Australia are the most important continents in this map which you should prioritize to not end up being blocked from, especially Australia since it's one border continent. So I would highly recommend you to avoid picking Siam. But then also these territories too. And against very smart opponent, I would recommend you to avoid picking these 2 territories too. Different combinations of these could lead you of being blocked from Australia even without you selecting Siam. However, sometimes it might not be too bad to select some of these territories depending on the already selected territories. You need to look and see if that specific territory you want to pick would still block you the way towards Australia with other territory combinations or not. To not end up cutting your way towards South America, I would recommend you to avoid picking North Africa. And then you might not want to pick Central America. But Central America isn't as bad, and if you already blocked your way to South America from North America, then you could still select it. When it comes to borders, what I care the least is the North American, Asian path. So I wouldn't mind too much selecting these 2 borders if I don't have good territory choices anymore. Also I wouldn't mind too much to connect all of these territories. I would rather prioritize to not block the other more important ways. When it comes to these territories, these are generally bad. But not as bad as the worst ones, which block you the way the most towards Australia and South America. When it comes to these block you the way to go from North America to Africa or vice versa. But since these bordered territories don't block you the way towards Australia or South America, since these territories are obviously inside South America, those are not as bad as the worst mentioned territories as well. But generally see how the territories are already selected, and decide by that, as sometimes it might not be as bad to select these. Finally, I would like to say that there will always be exceptions out of the rules. And a lot could depend on the already selected territories and your plan in general.